an M in front of Hubbardston. I don't know how that got there. But I'll make that correction. That's and then we have the minutes from the July 12th meeting. See any corrections that need to be made or anything?
No, I think it looks good.
Look good. We have a motion to accept?
All in,
Aye.
okay. Minutes.
I'll move it.
With one typo. Okay.
Old business, first up is the brochure.
Before you go ahead,
Yeah.
technically, you must start getting used to doing this. As the chair of the committee, you have to sign that these were approved and they go into a folder that gets filed away. Yeah, and then just say, minute,
13.
yeah, approved at meeting on today's date. This is my copy. I know that because as chairman of the Board of Health, I am constantly signing that things have been approved and so on and so forth.
Well, that makes sense.
And then I'll give that to Candace and then she'll post it. Wasn't doing that, I apologize about that. Okay, under old business, sorry.
So, excuse me, first on the list is the brochure. Thinking we should try to move forward on that in some form. Do you have
I was,
an old copy of one?
it's an expense bill that I cannot submit tonight because there's not three other people to vote on it. I thought I had found one, but you. I went through old stuff, and what we had put on the website at one point was this. The mission statement.
Okay. Are those Hubbardston pictures?
Some of them are.
Okay.
Work plan goes all the way back to 2019, which needs updating. And the previous goals that were completed. And I believe this is still on the website. And the educational portion. And, establish pathway to ADA agriculture-related issues. So the flyer, I don't know that it needs to say the mission, but I thought that the right to farm bylaw itself,
Mm-hmm.
which is also on the website, is what we should have in there, so the actual bylaw. And the new part of the bylaw, which was approved in 2019, which was, MGL Chapter 40A, Section 8L, was added, that was, approved as a warrant on the
Okay.
town meeting in June 2019. And that allows to, accept property as a donation, to keep it in, a farm, as a farm. So if you go, back, the details, should be on the website. It may not, I don't know if it got in there or not. So, I think the information that we could pull from this is, one, I don't know that we need to put mission, but,
On our brochure,
yeah.
I would think that we should put the mission statement,
Okay,
don't you think? So are you looking at like a threefold or just
Yeah.
a twofold?
either one, however it would work best.
So my daughter does have the month of January off of school. She's looking at her last year of college. She, over the summer, and when we first started to talk about this, she did say that she would help. I don't know if you still want that to
Oh,
happen.
sure.
Yeah, that would be.
That'd be
She
awesome.
would, she's really good at this kind of stuff. We could have something, maybe not done before Christmas, but definitely by mid-January, we
Well,
would
for
have
the-
something.
That would.
Do a
yeah.
draft for the next meeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
That'd be great.
I should be able to scan things now, once I get my new printer up and going.
Okay.
Shortly, within a week.
Okay,
So, why don't I scan this and then email it to you?
sure.
What this
And if not,
was?
you can check the website, see if it is on the website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Most of it is, however,
So what kind of things, like, I think,
so
personally, I think the mission statement would be important, so that people know who we are and
Okay,
what we wanna do.
all right, and then the law itself, the right
Yeah,
to
right to farm.
bylaw that,
bylaw.
and the, additional one of, that I just gave you. MG.
How long is the bylaw? I mean, would it take up like a giant section or just like,
If you run a 3-page thing, you could make it tiny enough to fit in one column.
okay, okay.
And then the second part to it will also take part of a column, but not the whole column.
Okay,
So one of the, which we can, so in regards to the, the pathway, so we already established this basically.
okay,
So it should just say, not established, but it says, should say methods to mediate agricultural related issues within the town. And then here it is, the description, and I'll see if that looks good to you.
yeah,
So that people know, and the person that you would reach out to is, well, you can reach out to anyone on the board,
okay,
on the commission, our commission, sorry. So you could reach out to anyone on the commission, and then that's where we should have each other's phone numbers, which I now realize it is in my phone. Maybe not yours.
I just put his name in mine,
So
I don't
I
know
will
why
check.
it wasn't, cause it was,
That's where I would head.
so,
I have one more folder, of stuff that I had hung on to.
do we want to, do we wanna put everybody's phone number on, or do we wanna just
No,
put?
on the brochure, no.
No, just names or just positions, like that there's a secretary, president,
Well, do we want it to be a brochure that's gonna change immediately?
well, that's, yeah,
Because we're,
how long are people's, chair, like how long are people in,
it's usually 3 years.
okay,
So the positions that we have, which way do we wanna go? An email, a text, what are we okay with?
contact this office and then this office, like the town hall?
Well, that's during the day, yeah. Do we want them to contact the police and then the police contact us? They probably don't, police probably don't want us to do that.
No.
We'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
leave that part blank. I
Okay.
do think that's part of what we have to think about.
Okay, so if we had, let's just say that we're gonna have a threefold, because
Sure.
it looks like we're gonna have a lot of information, so
Yeah.
it would be long, longer than this, but
Right.
we'd have like six sections.
Right.
It's just me.
Okay,
I'm just copying it over so she has it.
thank you.
Oh.
That way-
Perfect. I should have thought of that.
So, yeah, so, Emma can do this, she's done one for
Should
me
have a
and
nice
she-
farming
yeah.
picture on the front.
Yep,
And if any of those that
Yeah.
are on there can be used,
right,
that's fine. I think,
so Hubbardston Agriculture Commission,
office contact is Candace.
okay. So that's what we could put here, I guess, under
Yeah.
members, or,
Sorry, allergies. So Candace is the office phone number. I forget what her extension is.
I think it's in the email that,
Yeah, it is.
that.
Right. It should be in the email.
Yeah.
So she's the office person.
Extension 202.
Right, so Monday through Thursday during office hours, they can reach, she can be called and then they can call us.
Okay.
And, if there's an issue, or if they have questions and they wanna
Right.
reach us. On the other days of the week, we're gonna have to figure out what's appropriate to put out.
Do you get very many phone calls?
No, but
No, oh, I know, I mean, they need to,
it's
will
one
need
of
to be
those
able to
things-
do it, but.
Yeah, the phone numbers of the members used to be on the website, but then they kinda did away with that. So I don't, it's okay one way or the other.
So we have like a mission statement, right?
Yeah, and the right to farm bylaw
Right.
is, on,
Yeah, we have a mission, right to farm, so that's gonna go on
that's
like
on the
page
website,
2.
yeah. And then the MGL 40A,
Yep,
and,
that's on our website as well.
should be.
Okay.
I haven't looked it up recently. I did a couple months ago, but then I forgot what I saw, so. I can get it for you if we need to. I can find it. And then I think just our activities maybe? One is assisting if there's animal issues.
Mhm.
Or our like responsibilities to the town, or what would we call it, like?
No, don't say responsibilities. How we can help.
Yeah, how we
Something
can help.
in some way,
Yeah.
something like that. Or how, well, our goals, see, you
Right,
can
our
see
goals, yeah,
the goals, and then one is assist,
right,
and then you can do that little paragraph.
yeah,
You can condense it.
yep,
You don't have to put thousands of I think we had 6 examples, you can put 2,
right,
of how to reach, how to, that
we
we're
can
there to help with animal issues.
yep,
We're there if there's a weather emergency, then we can help, with, even housing animals, should it be necessary in a weather emergency.
oh, wow,
We did talk about it, I don't know, in the time that I was not on the committee, if anything evolved for that.
Not really, no. It, emergency planning,
mhm,
So in that regard, the barn book, the old one, is pretty outdated now.
Yeah.
That Dennis O'Donnell had down, and I don't know who is covering. Yes, they have a new one, a gal covering his position, but I don't know if he's covering for DPW, for the work he did for DPW, but I don't know if he's covering emergency services.
I don't know him at all.
Dennis O'Donnell was Judy O'Donnell's husband. He passed away in the spring, and he was allowed, because he was part of the emergency plan administration group under COOP, the state gave him a copy of the barn book. So if there was an emergency, weather emergency, where half the town was blown
Yeah.
away or whatever, we were to reach out, and we'll have to rework all of this.
Yeah, well, yeah, wouldn't necessarily be for the flyer itself, but,
Right.
yeah.
I'm extending into how all of that would
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
but, I don't know what else, educate the public.
Right.
You know, we have Farm to School Day for the children every
Right.
year. Other activities, a farmer's social
Yeah.
for both active farmers and farmers of all types, including hobby farmers, I guess we would say. At this point, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We probably should put on the agenda for, I know I'm going in circles here,
Mhm.
for 2024 is updating the goals.
Mhm.
Because the last ones that I know of are these, and that's 5 years ago, so we
Mhm.
should redo the goals in
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, but if
That's
we
not
can
the
get like a,
brochure.
right,
Yeah.
So those probably, in my mind, are the things that should be on there. I don't know what anybody else thinks.
and then just like nice pictures of Hubbardston farm animals and a
Mhm.
garden,
Yeah.
and a little pack of face in there.
Right. Bees,
Bees. Yeah.
vegetables and flowers.
Yeah.
Alpaca, sheep, we have sheep.
Yeah.
We have horses in this town, a lot of
Yeah.
horses. And, maybe a vineyard, because we now have a vineyard in
Yeah, right.
Hubbardston, you know, things
Does
like.
that fit under ag?
Oh,
Or just
absolutely.
Yeah.
We could actually include, I had a decent picture from Perner's lumbering. Lumbering is agricultural.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is that the one up on Williamsville or?
Behind, just across from me, catty corner.
Oh,
from
yes,
me.
yeah, yep,
We had a picture that
mm-hmm,
showed just
yeah.
a pile of split wood or something, I don't know.
We can sprinkle those through.
Right.
Yes, I'm just trying to give her like, cause hopefully I'll see her this weekend and give her like a little
Yeah.
idea of,
Yep.
and then she can go on the website and she can pull things.
Did you have your barn inspection?
Yes, they came by. So every year, the animal control officer, has a list and goes to all the locations to identify, how many animals and take a look at how
Make
they're
sure they're
cared for.
healthy and, yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
And that becomes the state's emergency animal program.
Oh.
Goes in what was old-fashionedly called the barn book.
Okay, that's good.
And that barn book, we, as the Ag Commission, tried years ago.
Don't have access to.
We don't have access to it.
Okay.
Even though if
You're
there's an
on the list,
emergency,
right.
the idea is,
To get
that-
local help,
yeah.
yeah.
So that link part is still not linked well.
The interesting thing about the visits are, last couple of years, it's been when I've been home, but it's also, you will get a pink slip in your mailbox telling you that somebody's been on your property and counting your animals and said you are keeping in good condition.
Oh,
They do give you a receipt. that
But
they've been-
just that, so,
Hmm. Yeah,
kind of, how did you count
right.
27 alpacas? in my barn and field,
Hmm.
et cetera. Yeah,
The
so a little bit interesting.
The rules are that they can only count what they see.
Yeah,
They can't enter any buildings.
but it's
and
pretty
stuff.
interesting when they come up with exact numbers that we do have.
Oh,
Um,
Anyways.
But yeah, last 2 years in a row, it's been when we've been home
good.
on the weekend. And it's now the Gardner Animal Control officers, I guess.
Right, we contract, as a town, we
Yeah.
contract with them.
Right.
That's correct.
That,
Hmm.
I happened to see one of the vehicles out there, then I saw a different vehicle pull into the yard when I was back home, so I had a clue.
Nice.
Next on the old business was summary of the farmer's social, which I thought we did before, but maybe not.
We haven't had a meeting. We
Yeah.
talked, so,
Um,
you and I talked.
Yeah, I think we
But-
had 6, 8 people.
Oh,
Good time was had by all. We did a little farm talk and ate some food, and that was about it.
Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to come, but I
Yeah.
was still testing positive for COVID at that time. Could not come. Okay.
On new business, report on town meeting with Ian Goby. Were you at the meeting? No, you weren't, no.
Mm-mm.
You were working.
is this the just recent meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
Actually, yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Quick times. Slipped away.
Her focus was on activities and the focus of the town. And a lot of agricultural subjects were broached during the program. And she's very supportive, and she is a very proactive person. So hopefully some of these things will be addressed, the concerns, since Hubbardston is rural agricultural based town, and how to get additional funds from the state, because a lot of the land in the town is owned by the state
Not developable.
Right.
and can't be
Right.
developed, and so
Not part of the tax
recognize
base.
that
Tax base.
watershed and ponds and so forth all have value and importance to the state and surrounding communities, and should be valued higher than they are, because the state does send a little money to the town
Oh,
for it, but
okay.
nowhere's near to the value of what that watershed and those various
Right.
reservoirs and such, and aquifers, provide to the communities around. And so, and then also there's, they were talking about other issues as well, roads and road funding. And as a small town, there was one requirement that we would never meet, so we weren't eligible for certain kinds of funds. And she has worked to get that changed for all
Oh.
of the towns, so that as a town, they have better chance of getting certain grants
Oh, nice.
that have to do with, I think it's population. Was it no, it wasn't population, I forget what it was. Anyhow, so, anyhow, a variety of topics were covered, but there was quite a bit of conversation about agricultural issues in a town, swimming in Comet Pond, issues that are related to all of that. So, that's where we stood on all that. It is on YouTube if you wanna watch it.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, everything's recorded, it's on YouTube, so if you need to, look at that, that would be useful.
Next in line is plans for 2024 activities.
So I guess number one is update the goals, right? We should work on updating the goals
Sure.
that you took the pictures
I
of.
took the picture
Mhm.
of, yep.
So we don't have to do that tonight, but we should,
Okay.
in my opinion,
Update goals, yep.
is go through and bring it up to date.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
5 years is 5 years.
Right.
Many plans don't get changed except every 5 years.
Right.
That's a very common time frame, so I think we're okay on that. What did you wanna add, Keith?
Well, just as far as, you know, activities for the coming year, again, the school event, again.
Sure, the kids love that, they really do.
Yeah.
So that's usually good towards the end of June, you know, when school is almost out
Yeah.
and they're
Mhm.
looking for fun things to do. So late June, mid to late June.
Right.
Um,
The agricultural accessory bylaw may be coming up at town meeting.
Right.
Fingers crossed, it will come up on the warrant for the town meeting. So the ag accessory, that's what it's currently called, bylaw. So any support that's needed for that.
towards that, yeah.
That's being handled by planning board. And the actual subcommittee that was set up was dissolved.
Oh, okay.
So they're now just going through the steps to, which Keith and I sat in a meeting last week. Which was December, today's the 13th, not 6th. Where they basically went through the whole thing and asked for comments, and a lot of comments were made. They're gonna have another draft drawn pretty soon, and then there'll be another meeting where people are invited to, again, revisit how it's written. And then if it looks good, the next step is to do, the third step is to do a public hearing. And then it can be brought in as a warrant to go be presented at town meeting.
Great.
Oh, in somewheres in there, they have the town lawyers look over everything.
Sure.
So that's an activity where, although it's not an official AgCom activity, we just need to be aware of when these emails come out from the town, that they have hearings, that we should be there to support it. If it gets passed, then the ability to do other activities becomes easier, right? Like your
Or not.
farm or my farm, depends on the size.
Right. And
Remember,
and
the
how
way,
you
remember, the way it's written is you can have up to 4 of one kind of activity without needing a special permit per year. And then there's.
Or over a certain amount of people.
Mhm.
So, I don't know which is which,
Yeah, I don't think it's been worked out clear yet.
and what that number will be, and whether it's those number of people all at once.
Or over
Or
a period
over-
of time.
So-
Yeah, they're still working on those
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. So, we'll just
But
play it by
there's
ear.
different categories of activities that have that special permit. So
Yeah,
you
so-
could do 2 of one and 2 of another, you know?
Yeah, just call it two different things.
Well, they would be.
They are 2 different things.
Anyhow, so there's still, it's still a plan, the draft is still being, improved so that it makes sense, and so that it would be valuable for
Mhm.
about 10 years before it would be
Good.
not up to date anymore.
Mhm.
Okay, continue with some kind of farmer social?
Yes, but I think we should, just have to figure out how to get in contact with people.
Maybe we'll do a different season of the year?
Yeah, yeah.
In the past, we had done Farm Day where people came out on Sundays and
So-
drove around.
Oh, yeah.
I have an idea on that.
Is there a different way to do it?
Well, what I was thinking, briefly mentioned to Katie Young, only as a idea that popped into my head.
That's
and-
fine.
And it came out, was what if we had, well, what came up in the last meeting was, there is a T-shirt out there, "Where the hell is Hubbardston?"
Mhm.
And that Hubbardston used to be a destination for Boston people to vacation and so on.
Really?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And
Wow.
There used to be big hotels on
I
Main
don't know
Street.
if we want, I don't know if we want that verbiage, but I think we do. We have a "Where the hell is Hubbardston Day?" And not only just the
Oh.
farms, but the local businesses, and maybe set it up like Country Roads with a stamp card.
Oh my God, yeah, that would work, right?
And
Can we not say hell though? Can we say
That's-
like,
that's what I'm
where the
saying. I
heck
don't know
is
if-
Hubbardston? I mean,
H-
I don't,
with the H.
where is Hubbardston,
Yeah,
something?
it just
you
happens
know.
that that
Right.
is the T-shirt.
Right.
And,
But it does turn,
well,
like my mother would be offended by that.
And we couldn't publicize it in the school.
No.
So I
Right.
mean, exactly, but that's how it came up,
Yeah.
and,
So how about where in the world is?
where,
Right,
you know.
where in the world is Hubbardston? We could make
It's
new
like-
T-shirts.
Yeah,
Where-
exactly, yeah,
You
it
know,
doesn't,
like,
have to say hell.
Doesn't have to say that just because there's a T-shirt, we can make a new T-shirt. But I really like that idea, like the whole little thing they tried to do with the local businesses, a couple months ago, whenever that was.
Yeah.
This
and,
would be, we could do that.
And my thought is, it could be something that, again, we have the town fair,
Yeah,
or fairs,
Yeah.
whatever form. We have the frozen assets that are coming up.
yeah,
We have the light fight.
yeah.
And so maybe it's just another town type event, but again, maybe it's something that, like Country Roads, there's a stamp
Yeah.
card. And if you go to Ladybug Farm, you get a stamp, and if you go to
Right.
the pizza place, you get a stamp.
Yeah.
And if you go to,
Yeah.
Tiny Toes and Bows or
Right.
whatever,
Right.
and then, of course, always ideas are not my issue.
Right, but I
what if,
really like that
you know,
idea.
That's an
for-
efficient
For
method.
us, so for example, let's say you don't have a storefront, and maybe we set it up as part of a fair
Right,
at our
right.
farm
Right.
for Hubbardston Candle.
Right, and the winery.
Yeah, et cetera, so we could probably put X
Yeah.
number of vendors there too.
Or we could maybe even do it at the rec field,
Yeah, and,
you know, like, everybody gets a tent, even the pizza, you know, like the pizza place,
challenge with that is coordinating that with other events already going on at the rec field. You know, working around soccer,
Yeah,
baseball, et
that's
cetera.
true.
And I don't think the pizza place would put somebody over there
Right.
for the day.
But you could go,
But you,
I
so
think
for
the
the
stamp idea
physical.
way Country Roads is, where
Yeah.
you go different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
And then those places, like you said, Hubbardston Candle yourself with the honey, could pair up at a location.
Exactly, yeah,
So
right.
Yeah,
it'd
and
be a
just
two
like
for-
park in front of somebody's, you know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So again, you
Be
could
in
be
your
at Giacomo's.
driveway, yeah.
You know, but yeah,
Yeah, for
Or
you,
out
it
at Giacomo's, yeah.
For
Yeah.
you, it could be Giacomo's.
Yeah.
right, and, but, you know, that way, it's not only,
It makes people go different routes.
I like that, I
not
like that
only
idea a
the big
lot.
businesses
Right.
that have a location,
Right,
it's the
like whoever, yeah.
mom and pop
The
business.
wood carving guy that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I like that idea a lot, we could make that happen.
And I, you know, the good and the bad of the farm tour was 5 people, you know, it's five spots.
Oh, really?
You know, I mean.
Oh, only
There was
5
roughly,
spots.
There
you
were
know,
6.
6, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
and the good and the bad, yes, that's, you know, yes, it was ag related, it was farm related.
Right,
But I think
It was all in one day as
making it
well.
a
Yeah.
town thing and the farms are a part of it might, you know, we had a good turnout the first year we did, and not so much the second year.
Right.
Okay.
We saw that farm last year, and it wasn't like there was
Oh.
5 different farms, let's go check out these, you know, so.
okay, I
So,
see. Yeah,
but.
because I think, doesn't, Princeton do that?
Several towns have farm days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I helped when Barb Dietrich, when she was a teacher over here, and helped her one day, and, it was a very lovely day, and lots of people came through.
Yeah.
So what was Katie's thoughts?
Well, this,
Or she
it was
did that
only a
too?
text across the, while we were
Oh,
supposed to be
okay,
paying
at a
attention
table?
to.
Oh, at a meeting? No, I really like that
Um,
idea, and I think,
I can approach her with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and make sure that people can help initiate this.
Well, it doesn't all have to be on one day, just like Country Roads.
Right,
Could be a weekend,
right.
could be a weekend.
Could
you
be a
know.
weekend,
It could be a whole week,
couple weekends.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Where, you know, everybody has got those chances to come out here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could be 2 weekends
Yeah.
in June, it could be 2 weekends in July, something like that, where people have, again, the opportunity. When they get stamped, is there a raffle prize or something?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't notice it in the, I must have missed it, in this year's Country Roads brochure.
I never
It was
got
on the front, it was
opportunity
just
to
a
look
couple
at it.
little lines that
Oh,
said,
was it?
if you complete 3, if you visit 3 people, you go into one raffle, if you complete the whole card, then you're in another raffle to win.
The first prize is $50 gift certificate to each shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then the second prize is a
$50 to one shop,
specific shop, yeah.
so they must be like, this one's for so-and-so, who this
Yeah.
one went out, but I really like, and if we had a date set before, at some point, we could get the information to like the Johnny Appleseed magazine and all of those cool things.
That's, yeah, the deadline's real soon for the
All
spring
of
issue.
that.
Yeah.
Right, but,
We
we
got
don't
an
have to do
email
it
already.
this spring, we
Right,
can,
yeah.
like, plan this all,
this-
and
this
then
is
have
something-
it,
yeah.
you know, like, we can start planning in 2024 and do this late or early
Whether,
next
yeah,
year.
it would, the challenge with the fall is everybody else is doing things in the fall.
Right.
The challenge with the spring and the summer is who's around and,
Right.
you know,
But then you've got that kind of dead time in like January, February, March, when nothing's coming up
dealing with
yet.
weather though, the potential of weather. No, it, you know, I think spring or fall is probably the best.
Right.
Just, there's an awful lot of competition for
In the
limited
fall.
weekends in the
Yeah,
fall.
Yeah.
One of the farm days I thought we had in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, May 19th.
At the school, or
No,
just
the
in general, the
farm
farm
tour
day?
day.
Yeah,
Farm tour
okay.
day, yeah.
And,
Yeah, May's a nice time, not too much is going on in
Yeah,
May.
yeah.
And new babies that are being born in May, and
Maybe.
flowers are coming up. You know, like
Yeah,
there's stuff
yeah.
happening in town in May.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot.
and we may have to assume that it won't happen until May of 25.
Or we could start out small, like we could get it going for this year, but then really get it, like, put it in the magazines for next year and just add on to our first
Yeah.
annual is just a toe dip in, and then,
Yeah,
you know,
trial and error.
we'll jump in both feet next year in 2025.
I think if Katie is on board, then we have a force of nature that will be helping.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So, I don't have a 2024 calendar.
Oh, it's on the phone.
Yeah. I haven't figured that out on my phone yet. I have to work on that. So May,
May,
not Mother's Day and not Memorial Day.
Right?
yeah.
So here we go,
So kind of
yeah.
the weekend of the 18th, 19th.
Oh, we're back to those dates again. Okay. Only
So
maybe
what,
for this year, one weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Or even like that.
yeah, 'cause I
lunch.
think on a vendor and storefront end, you know.
One weekend's-
Dragging, yeah.
that's
the-
enough.
The experience of country roads as one weekend it was more festive, more exciting, and more stressful on the businesses.
Mhm.
On the extending it over multiple weekends, it's easier on the businesses, but for example, it seemed like as of this last weekend, it really dragged this year.
Right. But it was the last, so let me just put this 2 cents worth in, because when it was just that one weekend,
Yeah.
there was no way in the holy heck I was going near any of those doors, because I cannot stand crowds, and I get claustrophobic, and, you know, I wasn't gonna bring my girls, and so I didn't do it. So
Yeah.
I missed out on, I mean, I did after the fact, I would go visit these stores,
Yeah.
but there is a huge population of people that do not want that experience of claustrophobia
Yeah.
in a tiny store, or having something shoved in here, sign this, to me, that wasn't fun. That was way too stressful, way too, I didn't enjoy that at all. And I think the first year that I worked, I did not like
So,
that.
like,
So-
2 Saturdays in a
But-
row?
But,
Well,
but I think to start, you know,
Yeah.
like, again, so Christmas in
Let's try it out
Barry,
and see how it works.
this was our first year to do a festival of trees, and we were like, nobody's gonna come. Oh my God, it was so well received. So I think we can pull it off even if we start now in January and try to get something for, you know, mid-May for the first time, I think. 'Cause we don't really need fancy stamp cards. They don't have to be glossy paper. Staples does a great job. You know, we can start off and
And
get
one
people
of the
interested in.
things is not necessarily stamping, but maybe a special sticker.
Right, or
That
something.
they just, it's on, you know, the sheet's on the wall in the store, and you get one. You have to physically come in to get the
Right,
sticker.
right,
For each one, you know,
Yeah.
mine could be ladybugs.
right,
They have to
right,
have a ladybug, yours has to have an alpaca,
Yeah.
yours has to have honeybee on it.
right, right.
And Giacomo's has to have deli
Yeah.
sandwich, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that might be the way to go.
Yeah,
That's more fun for kids, for
That's
one
definitely
thing
more-
to fill
yeah,
out.
yeah.
That's just a thought,
Yeah, yeah.
as, you know, so, okay, so we got plenty to do now.
Yeah.
I really do like that idea. I don't know that if we could get it ready for May, but we
Yeah.
could sure try. You know, and if we came short, then we would do it, or even if we do it in like October.
Yeah.
You know, like people can't be afraid of the weather and it's going around
Yeah.
inside, so.
Yeah, I think winter
know.
would be tough, but.
Yeah, but October's not bad.
No, yeah,
It's not like we're gonna be setting up a tent and standing there all day.
No, it could be the weekend before anything that's, I don't know when Halloween is this coming year. What was it this year?
Oh, what day it is,
Tuesday? So this year, it'll be 2024 will be Wednesday.
Oh, it's actually gonna be a Thursday. This is, 24 is leap year.
Ah, right. So,
Oh, Columbus Day,
you know,
the week after, yeah, I mean, we could,
a gap weekend.
Yeah.
Where you're not,
right,
people are not going to the Lions Club Halloween thing.
right,
Uh,
before that, yeah.
But also, it's possible to do it that first weekend in November.
Right, I was just looking
No?
at that.
Okay, we're not.
No?
that's Fiberfest.
Oh, right, okay.
Not
I-
doing it, so
yeah.
go back a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like,
yeah, so either, potentially May or
yeah, the
No.
third or fourth weekend in October or
mid-October,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. I know I have a wedding on Columbus Day weekend, but.
Well, you wouldn't pick that weekend.
Right,
because
right,
it's,
that's a big travel weekend
yeah.
for people.
Okay, you have two choices, that's great. What else is on the agenda? That sounds like a lot of things to get done, so,
Yeah.
Fact that we need a new member is the next thing on
or
the
maybe a
agenda.
couple members.
Is there a limit to how many we can have? Is it 5 total?
5 voting members.
5 voting members.
Doesn't mean that we can't have an alternate. I think we might wanna look at that option.
Yeah. Can we potentially have Candace put out a notice or?
Yep, ask
Um,
Candace.
Off the top of my head, I don't, and that's a challenge of the farm day, there's only so many of us.
Right.
And they don't have to be a farmer.
Right. I did mention
It's
it.
wonderful to be farm related,
Right,
or a lover of gardens and
Yeah.
so on,
yeah.
animals, et cetera, et cetera. I don't wanna bring individual names up until they're asked in a meeting here where we're recording things.
Right.
Who we might think about asking,
Yeah,
but,
could we just do that? Could we come up with like a few friends that might?
yeah. I think that's what we need to do.
Okay,
But until we speak to an individual, we
Right.
shouldn't bring their name up in a
right,
meeting.
exactly.
Because I learned that from experience recently, so
Hmm.
that's the way we should handle that.
Beyond that, unexpected subjects.
Anything else? It's always good to throw that in there because we never
Yeah.
know.
Has everybody's horse been behaving and staying inside their? And there's
No loose
there's
animals?
There's a loose animal on Old Westminster Road, but it's out of Westminster.
Oh.
The guy's horse gets out. Well, it's been a probably since the beginning of last summer, but yeah, he would just like wander, and then you'd like kind of nicely like drive behind them and get them back, but that was a Westminster thing, cause I live right on the line.
Our, friends of ours in another town, he fell and got hurt. One of their alpacas was acting strangely, so they brought out the vet for the alpaca. And then x-rayed the husband, who could see
Oh
his
my.
broken ribs. And the vet had to put in a corresponding animal to the,
Oh.
so it came up as a baboon. For
funny.
whatever records or whatever. But then the following weekend, the wife was at an event, the husband and worker were at the open farm, and one of the alpacas got loose, so he had to chase with broken ribs the alpaca down.
Wow.
Oh dear. So there are things that come up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
things that happen in towns and with people and.
Yeah,
And we just, that's why we're doing the brochure,
yeah, yeah.
to make them aware that we're out here and as official Ag Commission members, we can help.
And it's a good tie-in to the bylaw,
Right.
as far as, you know, again, for realtors or anything of that sort, that,
Yeah.
the
Right.
farming community is active
Yeah,
in the town,
yep,
in general receptive.
yeah, yeah. Okay, sounds great. Anything else that I should put in the minutes?
No. Motion to adjourn?
At, what
I
time is
can't-
your,
I
what
got it
time
writ-
does your?
7:12.
I never thought of that, 7:12, okay.